Welcome back to Left, Wrong, and Center.
I'm center left.
And I'm left of center.
Ooh, good introduction, Kyle. Welcome
Nice.
back.
That was just organic.
That was so good. That was so good.
We didn't rehearse that ever.
We did not just spend 5 minutes rehearsing that.
I don't think we did.
No, but we were moaning.
We didn't talk about it a week ago. Yeah, we have
No.
a whole reel from before we started talking of Grant burping and making fart noises and moaning into the microphone. And me riffing.
It's been a really long couple days for Grant. So
And me blowing my nose because I'm...
You know that I care about you, Kyle, because I'm here. Because I really wanted to cancel. Not that I didn't want to talk about it. I'm like zonked.
Cancel culture has gone too
It
far.
has gone too far.
Hey!
Has it gone too far?
We should do a whole episode on cancel culture. Just kidding. Okay. This is going really well already.
This is going good. This is the banter.
Today's episode is going to be focused on the upcoming elections, gubernatorial, but also like other stuff happening in New Jersey and Virginia.
Those are the big marquee races in 2025.
They're the
along
only
with,
two statewide races that happen this
right.
year.
And
yeah,
there's other elections, to be clear.
Yeah.
But these are like the big ones for these states.
and these are big. These are considered bellwether elections for where the country is as a whole. They were the first kind of warning sign in Biden's term. They happened in November of 2021, where we lost the governor's mansion in Virginia, and we just narrowly held on to it in New Jersey.
New Jersey, yep.
Despite being predicted to win it by double digits.
Yeah, that was a rough night. I recall that very vividly.
It was.
And Gavin Newsom was recalled on that election night, too. But
yeah.
he won.
Was he?
Yeah, they had the recall election.
No, you're wrong. Gavin Newsom was the recall vote was September 14th, 2021.
Okay.
You know how I know that? Because Wicked on Broadway reopened that night. And
Okay,
I
it
went to
wasn't that
see
night. It was that year.
And then I
Sorry, my
waddled
bad.
out of the theater and into a bar, and I saw that they voted to keep him overwhelmingly. I was like, tonight's a good night.
The legend.
Yeah.
The legend has returned. So we want to talk about that, I know, and we're
Yeah.
going to do a pretty big deep dive into both. And we'll be doing that coming up.
Yes.
But I know that you wanted to talk about just some couple news pieces of the week, but we want to keep it very brief here.
Yes. Why don't you kick us off there, because I know that you had some feelings on RFK and on Venezuela.
Yeah,
I'll turn the mic over.
The two things that I wanted to say that I think our listeners need to pay attention to are that there is a situation brewing off the coast of Venezuela with the United States Navy being deployed out in the Caribbean Sea. This is an escalation between the two countries. Venezuela has mobilized their military and is doing flyovers of the U.S. naval presence in the Caribbean.
Why?
Wait, why are
Do
the
we know
Americans
why?
there? To stop the cartels, Kyle. That's why.
No. Do we know why the flyovers are happening?
Oh, yeah, it's like a provocation so they can fight.
Okay.
Right. So, and here's the deal.
Important.
We need to be very aware of something here. The Venezuelan regime is extremely corrupt, extremely bad, and anti-democracy, human rights abuses left and right. I've worked with Venezuelan refugees myself who fled the regime.
Yep.
However, provoking them, well, I mean, we would crush them militarily. I'm not
Yes.
really worried about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of course I'm worried at any time American troops are involved. But
But
this
you're
is
not
just-
worried about the outcome should it come to
No,
that,
I'm
is
not
what
worried
you're
about the
saying.
outcome.
Yep.
I'm worried about the optics of everything and escalating another conflict in our southern hemisphere, which is not something I really want to do. However, the United States just recently launched the naval presence there interdicted a so-called drug boat and sank it, claiming they killed 11 narco terrorists. There's a
I
couple,
saw the clip of this happening. Yeah.
yeah, and they shared it, and yeah, America. Ooh, the thing that people need to be very aware of is that yes, drugs are bad. The supply and demand is a thing. We need to be aware of that. This is just another kind of escalation in Latin America, with America getting involved in it again, and that this attack on this vessel. Typically, these drug boats don't have 11 people on board, so we're trying to figure out. There's a lot of chatter that maybe it was a human trafficking vessel that they just killed a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah.
But we don't know, so we need to be keeping our eyes on it and make sure that people are focusing on foreign affairs. That's the first thing I wanted to mention.
Did you have a few burps about to come out as
No,
you spoke?
no.
That was ridiculous.
I'm drinking a Diet Coke, and the bubbles just kill me. But anyway, so that was the first thing that I wanted to discuss. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, when it comes to foreign policy, I have my opinions, I have my thoughts. I'm not as in the trenches on it as you are.
Yeah.
We have a history of meddling in Latin America.
In almost every Latin American country, the United States has intervened either militarily or overthrown their government or installed a puppet. It is part of our history as well. That's mostly in Central America.
Yeah.
But also in South America, too.
Venezuela
Sits on the largest deposit of oil in the world.
Now, where have we heard this before?
Iraq.
Well, Marco Rubio has also, like, just kind of stated, like, there will be further actions. Like, he's
right.
I mean, they're escalating with their words now, but even with their actions, it's a little.
And we need to be very careful when we're talking about this, especially when it comes to military action, where we're getting our troops involved, where what they say matters. And Marco Rubio, when this happened, said one thing, and Donald Trump said another thing, and they're not saying the same thing because they're just kind of shooting from the hip, asking questions later.
Yeah.
This is a...
I did not see that coming.
Not me either. But I'm just wanting Americans and people who listen to the show to be aloof about this and to be aware that this is happening.
Aloof is not the right word.
That's not the right word?
Aloof means, like, unaware.
Oh, sorry. Well, alert. Sorry.
I think we know what
you know what you're trying. Yeah,
but the question that I have for you is, why is this important? Like, what are the potential consequences of getting involved, other than the obvious, putting troops in harm's way? Why is this so problematic for our country?
Well, first of all, we don't want to be getting involved in another war.
Yes.
Second
Which
of all,
was a campaign promise.
Yeah. Well, he told us he was
told
going
us
to
he was
end
gonna
all
end
the wars.
And here we are 9 months into. Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's not going to end well for anyone involved. If there is a conflict, of course, American servicemen are going to be killed. Venezuela has some powerful
friends,
Russia and China. And
who are in lockstep
with lockstep, yep. And
their leaders talk to each other. Their leaders are friendly.
Right, they're buddies. And we just don't need to be messing around in this just yet. The other thing that I want to say is that everyone, I know someone who has a drug problem probably, or who has had a drug problem. Someone on our street growing up, he died on a fentanyl overdose.
Yeah.
It's a supply and demand problem. And everyone wants to take out the supply problem, but we need to start focusing on the demand problem in the United States.
Yeah.
Blowing up a drug boat is great, in my opinion. Like, that's fine.
If that's in fact
if
what it was.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
But you also need to be focusing. I feel like we're just never addressing any problems that we actually have. We're always trying to blame someone else. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because I do want to just get to Virginia and New Jersey, is that RFK testified in front of the Senate. I want to say it was the Finance Committee, but it might have been. It was the Health Committee. So the things that came out of that one, I recommend anyone who listens to this who didn't watch it to go back and watch it.
Which is a painful thing to do because of his...
Yeah, it's really bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But
I'm not even afraid to say that.
No, he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
And he's just full of lies, and it's to the point that it's actually scary that he is so comfortable lying.
And can I illustrate?
Yeah, for sure.
It's scary. I mean, we are used to seeing Republicans lie through their teeth. It's kind of their MO. What's scary is I was scrolling through or Twitter last night, dead naming always.
Yes. And
saw a clip of Harry Enton, who I'm going to bring up in a little bit, at his wall of data, showing that the percentage of Americans who believe that the government should require children to be vaccinated for infectious diseases was 62% in 2019 and has dropped to 51% this year. Yeah. And it was something like 80% in the 90s. Like because people had lived through the polio problem. Right. Yeah. So it's just, I'll let you finish what you were saying. No, yeah, for sure. It is just another example in the countless examples over the last 10 years of how, like, I look at so many things that are happening, and I'm like, we are willfully squandering the world that was built up over the last century.
Yeah.
That should not have been taken for granted. That was not guaranteed to happen. We've had too much of a good thing for too long. People, I mean, I'm not denying that there are people struggling, obviously. Like, that's the whole premise of being a Democrat, is like lifting people up and trying to help. But like, our country has had it so good for so long that people have forgotten or just don't care, like, what came before and why these things exist. Vaccines are as close to miracles medicinally as we have.
And that kind of all even ties into the Venezuelan
thing.
And
it's political. We've made it political.
No, so first of all, we've politicized not we.
Right.
The right wing
has
literally politicized everything. And America has had it really good since 1945, like really good.
Comparatively
to the rest of the world.
We're not saying that there are no problems, which we shouldn't have to qualify this.
No, we're fine. Yeah. We've had it very good. Obviously, there's some caveats to that, depending on where you're from.
There are always going to be caveats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've had it pretty good. America is not ready for a real war with a pure adversary like China or Russia. Our military is the finest military in the world. They have not fought a peer-to-peer adversary since 1945. So that's going to be a pretty big thing if that ever comes up. America also has a problem where they have so think about the pandemic. And I'm going to bring this back to RFK and then we'll move on. Think about the pandemic. We were told if everyone just social distances for this amount of time, we wear masks, don't go out and be crazy, don't be whatever, we can defeat this. What happened?
You have the contrarian republic.
Right.
And I'm sorry. There are Democrats that did this too. Democratic
Totally.
People. The leaders were responsible.
Right.
But it's a Republican versus Democrat issue. And
Which it shouldn't be.
Right, but there was a Republican in the White House.
Right. Republicans
are the ones who said, you can't make me do this. You can't make me do this. I'm the contrarian. You're not telling me what to do. Democrats are the one who, it reminds me of those T-shirts that I saw last fall that, like, all these, like, boomer people were wearing that said, like, do the Harris walls. Like,
oh, boy.
And I'm like, that's what it reminds me of because everyone, like, had their, like, mask, like, artwork all over their body. And I'm like, it's ridiculous and cringy, but it's like, this should not be political.
No, and in 2020, which was 5 years ago, I literally said, like, to people who weren't wearing masks or weren't social distancing or were having parties, it would literally be like if in 1940 during the Battle of Britain, if Winston Churchill was like, everyone turn off your lights in London, and you were like, I'm gonna have a bonfire, and then your entire neighborhood got bombed out by the Germans. That's what it was.
Right.
The point with RFK, bringing it back to Venezuela too,
he's killing people.
It's killing people about things that are preventable and things that shouldn't be happening. And I was listening to an analysis.
And things that we've been through before.
Right. Which is the polio, which is the other vaccines that we have. And kids need that to be successful because we live in a society where this used to be a huge problem. And the polio vaccine is not controversial. But again, if your kid gets polio, there's nothing you can really do about it if they're not vaccinated for it.
If the kid gets polio, then it's going to be, well, why didn't somebody warn us?
Exactly.
What are you going to do to fix it?
It's a lose-lose. And here's the thing, and I know people point this all out all the time, but, like, if the doctor tells me to get a shot, if he recommends that my kid needs a polio vaccine, I'm going to say yes. The doctor's smarter than me. And this is something that Americans need to understand, that there are people who know better than you, even if you can do your own research. And listening to RFK lie so disgustingly in front of this committee was atrocious. The one thing I wanted to add about this is I just want our listeners to go listen to it.
Yeah.
It was a bipartisan condemnation of him. On the Republican side,
he's losing some key.
John Barrasso, who's a medical doctor, Bill Cassidy, who's a medical doctor, and I think there's one more, I forget his name, who's a medical doctor, who are all Republicans, were questioning him, going after him, saying, "What are you doing?"
So he's publicly losing 3
people's support.
What can the Senate do anything to take him out?
No, they would need 67 votes to impeach him.
Yep.
So
here we are again. Like,
it's
your actions
elections
have consequences, voters.
But my whole goal here that I'm trying to say is that we're living in some really scary times, and public health is one of the things that we should not be politicizing. And the moment we start doing this where half the population doesn't do something that is good for the common good, is we're screwed. So I want that to be put out there, that get your shots. The flu vaccine that I don't know if you get it. I get it every year. That is literally from 1918 that they give out every year. It's a booster.
Yeah.
And of course, there's things we can criticize about the pandemic response. I have criticisms.
But we
I'm
don't
sure
need
you
to.
do. No,
But
I know. It was 5 years ago. But we need to move on. We need to move on.
Yes, the point that I was going to make is my friend from high school who works in public health shared like an infographic to her story because she agrees with you that this is like frightening. And it was a whole infographic card. And I can't remember who said it, who the statement was from, but it was like a whole dissertation where the first half was like, yes, the CDC has its problems, and yes, we can like going through the checklist of all the Republican complaints or supposed complaints. It's like we need to stop saying things like that. We need to stop preempting every statement with like, yes, things could be better, or yes, things could be more efficient, or yes, the cost. Like just like we need to stop ceding ground to these people.
Well, and the one last
by
thing,
acknowledging that they have some kind of valid point in their absolute train wreck
bonkers of positions.
And I'm sick of it.
The cherry on the top of this that I want to say is not an original opinion of mine. I'm reiterating someone else's.
Yeah.
Is that you kind of mentioned it with China, Russia, and India. They all had a summit this week, which India is an American ally, but kind of an American ally. But guess what happened to India a couple months ago? Oh, there's a tariff on you, and they're looking for trading partners because they don't want to pay the American tariff, right? Yep. China, Russia, and India have people to spare in a global war or in a global pandemic. They don't care about their people. They don't care about sending 1 million Russians to die in Ukraine, right? America needs to understand that we are all special, but there's a point to the free world that we're not that special. There's enemies at the gates, and we are debating things that should not be debated, and we are giving them so much room. And it's actually made me on a doom spiral right now because Russia has no problem sending 1 million men to die in Ukraine, and heaven forbid rich kids get drafted for a world war, and we'll be losing our minds about it. If we're defending our...
And then blaming Democrats.
Or blaming Democrats, blaming anybody. We need to start realizing that the world's changing. We need to acknowledge that. We're one people, and I'm so tired. Like, people died of COVID in 2020, and people are like, no, they just marked that he died from COVID. He died from da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, he might have had cancer, right? But the reason he died is because he got COVID. Right. He didn't die from the cancer. He got COVID.
Right.
But they're like, no, he died from cancer. I'm like, no. He died from COVID, and it's okay to say that. Stop making yourself feel so special. We need to move on and unite as a country, especially in the face of these adversaries that are breathing down our necks.
Yes, and people are so comfortable that they don't realize that our adversaries are breathing down our necks. They don't pay attention to it because they're busy talking about transgender people.
Right. They
condemning
have no
transgender people,
idea what
cheering
the world could be
Donald Trump talking about floating the idea of taking guns from transgender people. The fact that we are sitting here in our own shitty diaper after 50 years talking about the same old shit.
And there's things that we need to fix. Like, Americans need better healthcare. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I highly suggest that if you ever get in one of these rabbit holes where Americans are just talking about dumb shit, pull up a video of frontline footage from Ukraine and say, this is what your kids are going to be fighting in, because we're talking about this right now and we're not uniting to stop these people.
Right.
The frontline footage is genuinely scary. Like, war's scary, right? But like you watch the footage from Americans in Afghanistan, and then you watch the footage from Ukraine, Russia, where it's a peer-to-peer army.
Yeah.
It's freaking scary.
It's frightening.
The American,
and
I'm not saying
I
it's
haven't
not,
immersed myself like
no,
you have,
and I'm not a veteran. I didn't fight anywhere. But like the American footage in Afghanistan, it's like, oh, they're shooting, they're calling an airstrike. Boom. Oh yeah, boys. This one's like people are laying on top of each other, stabbing each other, rolling around in trenches.
Yeah.
FPV drones. We're just not ready.
And I think a lot of people think that's happening over there.
And they did this right before World War II.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect us.
Yep.
And it will.
Yep.
And I'm not looking forward to it.
I agree. I agree. I want to turn to we're going to talk about New Jersey and Virginia. I want to turn to the American economy.
Sure.
Because I'm very angry. Surprise, surprise. Trump is crashing the economy, and the media is running cover for him. I saw an Axios headline today that, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up, actually. I'll talk about it in a second. But the jobs numbers dropped this morning.
I saw that, yeah.
22,000 jobs added to the American economy. Unemployment went up to 4.3%. This is really bad. This is not good. These are not good numbers. There's no way around that, except for the fact that they are going to try to invent. Oh, also, June's job numbers were revised down. So they're going to try and lie. They're going to try and spin. I saw somebody from Trump's White House acknowledging that they're not good. I saw another person from Trump's White House saying these are fake numbers. I saw Trump himself saying the real numbers will come out in a year. I have no doubt that they will. Just invent an entire set of numbers. The Axios headline this morning was, Trump is in danger of getting trapped in the same vibecession dynamic that doomed Biden. Only this time, the structural signals are flashing red and Trump's signature legislation is toxic. So here we are 9 months into Trump's term. Grant's shaking his head like he doesn't see the issue with this. We are 9 months into Trump's term. This is the jobs numbers this morning, the layoffs, the mass layoffs this year, everything that has happened with the American economy this year is not a vibe. We are not in a vibe session. We are heading toward a real recession.
Yeah, I think...
And the need for Axios, the need for the media to constantly bring Biden's name up in the same sentence as Trump's, to equate the two, it's almost as if to say, well, see, look, he did this 2 years ago, and now it's happening again with the two. They're both... there's nothing comparable. The inflation of 2022, 2023 wasn't great. Biden-Harris policies kept it in check. It kept it so that we avoided a recession. Things were very expensive. Job growth continued. People were not losing or hemorrhaging their jobs.
Yeah, right.
In fact, we were in a period, what was known as the Great Resignation period throughout 2021 and early 2022, where people were so comfortable with the job market that they were resigning jobs that did not meet every single criteria that they had and finding new ones. And now we're being told, if you have a job, hang on to it for dear life. The amount of layoffs of people that I know personally, that I work with, that I'm friends with, that I'm family with, the amount of people that I know that have been laid off this year because of the economic uncertainty is astounding. And there's nothing vibe session about it. There's nothing comparable to Joe Biden's term about it. I didn't worry about my job when Biden was president.
Yeah, I think what they're saying though is, I mean, okay, it's going to get a lot worse. Trump's economy is going to get a lot worse in the next couple of months, right? By the midterms, I'm sure we'll be in a recession. The tariffs are actually going to start hitting, and people are going to be not feeling good. And of course, the national debt and all that. I think what they're talking about with the vibe session is that's kind of what during Biden since 2022. So 4.3% unemployment's still fine right now.
It's okay.
It's fine.
But it's an increase. It's
an
not
increase. Totally.
Biden got us down to 3.9 last summer.
Correct. And so my point being of this is like the economic numbers, people thought things were like, if you look at the data when Biden was president, they're like, we're a recession. Recession's coming. Recession's coming. Recession's coming. That's kind of what they're trying to say.
But it never happened.
It didn't
Whereas
happen.
we are absolutely
headed
towards a recession.
Well, because, you put in tariffs and global uncertainty and you're starting to pay more interest on the debt. It's your biggest line item in the freaking federal budget. Yeah, of course, we're going to be not doing well.
Right. And then you have the report that came out, I think, a couple of days ago where it said there are more unemployed Americans than there are jobs open in the country right now.
That makes sense. But no one wants to work anymore, Kyle.
That's not a vibe. It's not a vibe.
Right.
So to dismiss this and to liken Trump to Biden, it's just...
They just need to let Biden go, but they can't because it's too tantalizing for them.
Right. But I want to be very, very clear and say Biden never oversaw an economic collapse ever.
No, he
When
built
he
it
left
back up, and
office-
his legislation was pretty much popular.
Correct. When he left office, the numbers were solid. The growth was up. Unemployment was down. Inflation was under control. I think by like 2.9%. It was like 2.9% by the time he left office.
Yeah.
That was manageable. Record job creation. That's the truth. But Trump, just 9 months back in power, he is actively orchestrating a collapse. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can tell me that I'm, just hating in a partisan way. You have to wonder, the tariffs are sabotage.
He made
chaos,
money off the '08 housing recession,
Right.
so like he lives off of that because he's a bottom feeder.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. He's enriching himself in such dramatic ways with the Saudis and the Qataris and the Emiratis. I mean, he's making a pretty good bank right now, and he's just messing around.
And but like this is my point, and this is an overarching point I made about the media many times. Instead of the media ever directly calling him out to hold him accountable, they're trying to equate Trump's real economic damage to Biden's so-called negatives, the things that people didn't like about Biden. I think it's to make voters feel better about the decisions they made, where it's like, oh well, this happened during Biden, this is happening during Trump. It just takes all responsibility off of the people who are actually doing the damage. And it's Biden's vibecession was media spin in the first place. I'm not denying, like in the summer of 2022 specifically, I remember very
The prices
clearly,
were high.
Yes, prices being high. I felt the pinch in my wallet. But at the same time, we can point to the COVID response for that. We can point to the fact that was happening globally. It was happening to everyone. And the media invented a Biden vibecession. Then it trickled down into social media. Then it trickled down into it's really popular to hate on Biden for this thing, him being old and not fighting back more. We see that theme throughout all of history.
Right.
So the reality is Biden handed off a strong economy that was recovering. If you remember Obama's first term, the economy was healing. It doesn't happen overnight. Trump is wrecking it. And the media is helping him get away with it. And it makes me very, very, very angry.
Well, and I'm glad that you acknowledge that it's making you angry, because I wish that more people would feel angry about things, because
the right things.
Well, in 2029, when Gavin Newsom is elected, when he's sworn in as president, with AOC as his running mate.
Actually, did you see? Sorry, I want you to finish this thought. Did you see that YouGov and Yahoo did a poll of 2028 contenders? Gavin Newsom is now the Democratic frontrunner for the nomination. We'll see if that lasts. And then they pulled him against Trump and Vance. And as much as I hate the fact that they're legitimizing this idea of a Trump third term. Newsom pulled at 49% in each head-to-head, and Trump and Vance were both at 41.
Yeah,
that's 8 points.
Whoever the Democratic nominee, it's going to be like watching LeBron play basketball because of the horrific nature of this administration. But my point being is the damage that these people are doing to the government, to our economy, it's going to take a really long time to undo. And hopefully whoever the nominee is, whoever the president is, comes in and can get it under control. But we have to allow them to do it. But I know you want to jump into NJ, and
I have one more thing to say.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
One more thing to say. CNN's Harry Enton, pronounced with the T, and I had to look that up because I wasn't sure if it was Enton or Enton.
Okay.
I'm just saying, because it was immediately served a clip of him reacting to Trump saying his name wrong, because we're in the gossip rag era of American history, where that is a headline. Yeah. CNN's Harry Enton says that says that Trump was hired to fix the economy, and I want to reiterate here. Trump was not hired to fix anything. Voters did not look at GDP charts. They did not look at job numbers. They ate up rage bait. They ate up the grievance politics at the time, racial resentment, gender panic. That is what drove him back into office. It's convenient to say that people voted on the economy. It's the same thing as the economic anxiety argument of 2016. I will never buy that it was the economy. Meanwhile, Democrats and Nobel laureates warned about this exact situation. I'm talking now about the jobs report. Mm-hmm. And I remember a moment of the Kamala Harris debate. People were making fun of her for saying it in the debate and then repeating it in the same way in all these different interviews. They warned about this exact economic scenario. They said that Biden was leaving a stable, growing economy. And they said with Trump's tariffs, the chaos, and the sabotage, it would invite a recession by the middle of this year. And guess what? It's happening exactly as it was told. But the media didn't want stability. Stability doesn't get clicks. It doesn't sell books. So they ran Biden and Harris into the ground, and they were desperate to bring back Trump's circus, and here we are. Voters swallowed it with no question mark. It blows my mind how we are. Like, it's not like Harris ran around the country going, Trump is bad, Trump is bad. She was like, here are the 10 things that are coming. She did say that. But, like, it was like, here's a list. But, no, serious point.
I know.
Here's a list of what will happen.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of it. Hillary warned us, Kamala warned us, but it is so true.
Well, Joe Biden warned us.
Joe Biden warned us.
So I think going...
But I also have to... Sorry, before I want to finish the thought.
Sure.
Harry Enton is standing at... Or Enton, whatever. Is standing at this wall of data, and he's showing that last November, 42% of the country thought the economy was getting worse. Today, September 2025, 56% of people polled think the economy is getting worse. That's a 14-point jump in the last year that Trump has overseen. And he's acting surprised. They're acting surprised by this, as though it was not thrown out in the open for everyone to consume, and everyone ignored it. So no, Trump was not hired to fix the economy. He was hired on grievance lines, and he's nuking the economy just like we told him to. And then people want to complain about Democratic messaging. The messaging was clear. I'm going to keep reiterating this over and over and over and over again until people get it. There's an element of this in the media that is inevitable no matter who is in the White House. Like, the president is elected. There's a honeymoon phase for that president, and then it starts to be like, oh, the American population is turning on the president. It happens to an extent every single time.
Right.
But we have experienced this president before. We've seen what this president has done before.
Right.
This is not surprising to anybody with a brain.
Yeah, I mean, we can debate all day on some of the things you said, but I think that, I think going forward, we need to be hammering this message home, and I think there are things that Democrats need to do differently going forward.
I don't disagree.
And I think that, we're in very tumultuous times as a country right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited. I just keep saying I'm not excited because this is not the world I thought I'd be living in, but it's the world that I'm in.
And that routinely makes me mad. But we're gonna move on to New Jersey and Virginia now. Do you feel excited during election season? Because even though there's like hellscape kind of moving around, like I do get a little bit excited because it feels like the opportunity. Like I said when Trump was reelected, I was like, oh my God, I was like 2025 is going to be the worst year of this administration in terms of feeling helpless, because we have like New Jersey and Virginia have an opportunity to do something in 2 months.
I'm kind of always dooming, but like it's just I get excited about like defeating like locally, right? I'm going knocking doors for Christina Vogel tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm excited about that, right? Yeah. Because I want to defeat Brent Davis. Because he's crazy.
Yeah, because we like her.
Well, right. Yeah. Right.
Just want to drive that
besides that's besides the point. She's great. And comparative to her opponent, she will do a fantastic job, and she's a business owner and all that. Yeah. But anyway, she gets me excited. I talk to her, and I'm like, okay, you're a normal person. You're running for office. I respect this.
I was watching a clip of Abigail Spanberger talking to Brian Tyler Cohen yesterday.
Oh, you mean the North Korean? The North Korean judo master who's the Democrats are amazing and here's why.
Good for him, because we need more of that.
I know, but it's like a little too much.
But no, she was asked about redistricting, and then she went into like other items, like other stuff on the roster, and she was talking about her own history and like her plan. She was basically talking about redistricting, and she indicated that she is open to doing it, but that if Virginia does that, assuming they win a trifecta this year and in 2 years, like it has to pass two legislative sessions, and like it would not take effect until 2028. And she's like, in the meantime, here's the plan. And she was getting really fired up, and I was like, she's a really strong communicator.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Spanberger Stan.
I've been a Stanberger.
Stanberger?
A Stanberger.
Let's go with it.
Since like 2020.
Yeah.
She was the OG. She was like my favorite. Like I know it's cringe, but she was like my favorite congresswoman.
It's nerdy, but
she was like, I was very. It was her, Alyssa Slotkin, Abby Finkenauer of Iowa, and Jared Golden were my top people that I always would watch to make sure I knew what was going on. So I'm ecstatic that she's the nominee for Virginia governor.
Me too.
She is former CIA officer,
Yep.
former post office police officer, which is a real job.
Yeah.
They inspect mail threats. And then she won in 2018.
But what about male loneliness, Grant?
That's a real thing. But she won a congressional seat in Virginia 7.
In 2018, that had not gone for a Democrat since the 60s.
And she defeated. So that was where Eric Cantor was. He was the third in charge of the House, but he was defeated in a primary in 2014 by this
the right
Tea Party.
Yeah.
And she defeated him in 2018. It was a swing. It was an R plus 10 district at the time. So very impressive for her. She went to Congress. She did great. She's been outspoken about being normie, which is our whole goal as a podcast.
Her moment after 2020 was, everyone, including us, like was basking in the Biden of it all. And it was like we took back the White House.
Right.
We kept the House majority, but we lost some seats.
Yeah, 13.
And Abigail Spanberger got on a call and kind of lit up about you need to stop saying things like defund the police.
Oh
if that's not what you're actually running to do, you need to stop saying things like defund the police. It harms our party. That's the first time that I had heard of her, really, because I didn't follow these races as closely in 2018. And I was impressed by that because
she's been no nonsense. And the thing that always bugged me is that there was a coalition of women. And so it's really funny because I sound like I'm just parroting other people's talking points. I've been saying this for half a decade.
Yeah.
Like, I know our friend Elizabeth listens to this. Like, she'll know when we talk politics, I always brought this up like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In 2018, the squad won their seats in their safe blue districts. But on the other side of it were a bunch of young women who won their seats against Republicans in the general election, and they came in as that new wave. It was Alyssa Slotkin, it was Abigail Spanberger, it was Abby Finkenauer, it was Angie Craig, it was people like that who came in, and they were all national security types. They were all really smart women who had given service to the country, and they rocked. And now you're seeing Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan. You're seeing Spanberger in Virginia, and Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey. They're being promoted in the party, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So this race coming up is going to be in Virginia. I don't think it's going to be competitive.
I don't either. And that's a thing that
I mean, obviously it's going to be it's going to be within 10 points.
It's Abigail Spanberger
or 15
is our nominee versus Winsome Earl-Sears, who's the lieutenant governor of Virginia right now, to Glenn Youngkin.
And she's insane.
She's crazy.
But she slipped by. So let's do a recap of 2021. Terry McAuliffe ran for re-election a non-consecutive term.
Yeah.
He lost by exactly 1 point against Glenn Youngkin due to a couple reasons, but all the other Democrats down ballot lost by 1 point as well. So everyone lost at 1 point. Then they lost the state House of Delegates as well. The Democrats did.
Yeah.
That's the scenario that we've been in, right?
Youngkin had a trifecta for 2 years, right?
No.
Or
We had the state
Senate
always. So he hasn't really been able to get much done. He then decided to double down, and in 2023, he proactively ran on his agenda, and he got clapped by the Democrats. So we won back the House of Delegates, and we won more seats in the state Senate.
Yeah.
Coming into this, Winsome Earl-Sears, who is the
that was
Republican
the same
nominee.
Bashir got reelected, right? Yeah. 23.
Yeah. So she is a former Marine, kind of a quack. And then she
of a quack.
She is. She won a state delegate seat like 20 years ago, and then she went viral for something, and then she ran for lieutenant governor. She is ultra MAGA.
Yep.
Anti-vax. What else is she?
I wrote down some notes.
Yeah, you take it away.
So I kind of want to. Well, she has
super big Trumpy,
huge Trumpy. She's made like ridiculous
She's
comparisons.
like Mark Robinson from North Carolina, except not as crazy.
What did she compared? Was it vaccination to slavery?
Yes.
Or was it abortion?
One of the two.
She's really, really, really anti-abortion.
Right.
She's very anti-gay.
Which is funny because I don't know if he actually won the nomination, but the lieutenant governor nominee for the Republicans was a radio talk show host who there's something where his nudes were released that he was sending to young boys or something.
Underage boys?
I think so.
Gross.
So he might have been defeated, but he was the front runner.
The state of this race right now, you kind of mentioned you don't think it's going to be competitive. That's what the vibes say.
It could be totally competitive, like within 10 points, but I think Abigail is going to crush her.
But like define competitive, because okay, so if you look at polling, like Virginia Commonwealth University had a recent poll out that had Spanberger up 12 points.
Right.
Do I think she's going to win by 12? I don't think so.
She could.
I think it's possible. Roanoke University had a poll that had her up by 7. Most polling that I'm seeing has her up in that range. And it has Earl Sears stuck in the high 30s, low 40s.
Right.
The caveat here is that there's a number of undecideds.
Right.
But Virginia is known for swinging against the party.
The Democrats going to win this. I mean, Spanberger's going to win. It's just a margin.
The one race that I'm concerned about is the lieutenant governor race. There's been a little bit of polling that has shown a tie. Virginia elects the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general. They're all separately. It's not like a ticket like it is in some places. You don't run with your counterpart, top and bottom of the ticket. So Gizmala Hishmani, that's how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
You said she's a former state rep from outside of Richmond.
A state senator from Richmond. Yeah.
I've seen some polling that has her race much more competitive. Some ties in some polling. I'm suspicious of that. I would rather be her, because if you got Spanberger dominating the top of the ticket by, let's say, 7 to 12 points, given the examples I just gave, like, I would think that she would pull her over the line.
Well, and the Republican nominee is a guy named John Reed, who has posted nude photographs of himself on Tumblr.
Okay.
And he was.
Are they good?
I haven't seen him.
I'm just kidding.
But Glenn Youngkin said that he would not support him, but now he's backtracked that on him too. So here's the deal. If Abigail Spanberger wins the governorship, she's going to carry everyone across. That's typically how it works. Jay Jones is the attorney general candidate. He's my guy. I love Jay Jones.
He's really young, right?
He's like 35.
Yeah.
30. He's great.
Potential rising star.
Yeah, he needs to beat the Jason Mayoris, who is the Republican incumbent. He's a lunatic.
Do you know how they're polling?
I haven't seen the polling, but again, I think we're going to see probably above a 5-point victory for everyone on the ticket.
I hope you're right, and I hope you're right for a few reasons. One, I want Virginia to first and foremost, in terms of practical approach, I've talked about it on the show before. There are a few ballot initiatives that were passed by this House of Delegates in Virginia: the marriage equality, abortion rights, voting rights. Virginia is one of those states that if Obergefell were to be overturned, gay marriage is outlawed.
Yes.
In the state of Virginia. They are proactively trying to counter that now.
Right.
So these are 3 things that a lot of Democrats have been fighting for, have been saying we want.
They're on the ballot?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So they passed this House of Delegates legislative session.
Mm-hmm.
They have to. We have this election. If this election goes our way and we get a trifecta, especially, they will then be up for another vote in that legislative session. If they pass, which I would think they would, they would then go on the ballot and go directly to the voters.
Interesting.
So that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in 2028.
I don't know if it'd be 2028 or a special election.
No, it'd be 2028.
I don't know about that. I'd have to look it up.
But yeah, I mean, those will pass. I mean, all of those will pass.
We would think they would pass, but like these are very direct examples of here's something you can do. This is an opportunity to make so like that's one reason. Another reason is I want these elections to go well and commandingly so, because I want the narrative to change.
Yeah.
I want.
Well, it will. You know it will. They'll be like, Democrats are ascendant.
Well,
they're on track to a 50-seat majority.
I actually fully disagree with you. I think that they will find ways to poke holes and sabotage. They'll compare Spanberger to Mamdani. Well,
Mamdani's going to take away a lot of the fuzz.
We'll see. But like you know,
fun, I
we
should
don't
say.
fully disagree. We don't fully agree on
Right,
Mamdani and that situation. But that's the other reason is like I really am curious to see. I'm trying to go in with the mindset that we're gonna carry both New Jersey and Virginia.
We are.
I think we are too. But like I would love it. I would love to see a blowout in both scenarios.
I think Virginia's going to be a bigger blowout than
I do too.
New Jersey, and I think that she's on track to pick up almost a supermajority in both chambers. That's my hot take.
I think you might be onto something. The other thing
she's building a coalition. Abigail Spanberger
Yes.
is building a coalition that includes the Fraternal Order of Police.
Yep.
Which it's not called that down there, but it's the same thing. The police union.
Yes.
They endorsed her. They endorsed the Republican Attorney General candidate.
Ugh.
And so it's split, but she's building a huge coalition.
Yep.
Northern Virginia is solidly Democratic
Yeah.
now. They're going to juice out turnout there. There's a lot of unemployed federal workers who live in Northern Virginia. Live in Virginia. Then she comes from the central part of Virginia, outside of Richmond.
Yep.
That is her base.
Yep.
So she's going to be juiced up there.
Yep.
Then Richmond is super juiced up.
Say
because
juiced again.
I'm going to keep saying juiced. Richmond is juiced up because it's African American majority. And then there's the Hampton Roads, Norfolk, Virginia Beach area.
Do you know that word is pronounced Norfolk?
Norfolk?
Kind of.
I always say Norfolk.
I say like Norfolk.
Well, that area is heavily military.
Yeah.
However, Democrats usually do very well out there
Yep.
because of the service industries that are out there.
Yeah.
Now, here's where we'll know that she will be blowing out. So, Western Virginia.
Here we go. I have this written down
Go
too.
ahead.
This is okay. Actually,
Western Virginia is like Hitlerville. Like it's like 90-10 Republican,
Yeah.
right? Mark Warner, who's a U.S. Senator for Virginia, in 2001 when he ran for governor, he won the Hitlerville areas and lost Northern Virginia, and he lost Virginia Beach area.
It's crazy how much things have changed.
Things have changed in 25 years. So if she does well there, it's automatically a pickup for us.
Yeah, I have. There's one other reason I want to touch on why I want her to win, but I want to get into the county by county, like, and I won't go super into detail. Nobody abandon this now. It's not boring. On election night, watch Fairfax. Is this pronounced Loudoun?
Loudoun
Yes.
County.
And Prince William counties.
Prince William. Yep, those are Northern Virginia.
Yes, these are key early returns. These are they're swing counties. The latter two have been trending blue.
Mm-hmm.
Recent as of late.
Right.
Richmond suburbs, Henrico and Chesterfield, the Republican Party has to cut our margins there to stay competitive. And Hampton Roads, turnout in Virginia Beach, and Norfolk are critical.
I have friends in Hampton Roads, and I've been texting them every week saying, "You're voting, right? You're voting, right? You're voting, right?"
They better be.
They will be.
The one of the big reasons that I really like Spanberger, I'm not even going to get into her record because it goes to say, like, she has a history of bipartisanship. She's a fierce defender of LGBT rights. She's a fierce defender of abortion rights.
She's strong on foreign policy, which doesn't really matter
policy.
with governors.
She's one of those people that like gets things done, but she's a pretty standard Democrat.
Let's not lie, Kyle. She's the GOAT.
She's great.
She's awesome.
What I like about her,
Future president.
that's something that I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Not necessarily future president, but a rising star in the party.
Yeah.
What I like about her is I watched that interview with Brian Tyler Cohen where he was talking about redistricting, and I loved the fire that was lit under her where she was like, okay, sure, I'm open to that. But I see somebody, and I'm really over this word at this point, but I see somebody who really does have the fight in her to not only fight Republicans, but to like
get things
establish Democrats.
Right.
And be like, this is who we are, this is what we believe in. And
That's
I believe
what we need.
Yeah, and I believe if she has delivered strong majorities, even not strong majorities, given her record, I think she will deliver, and I think she'll be somebody that we can look at and go, okay, she won an election in a state that wasn't it's a swingy state, and even though it hasn't gone for a Republican for president for a while, and here's what she's done. I think she's a rising star. I think Jay Jones is a rising star. I have high hopes for her.
Yeah, I really am excited for all of it, and she's great. And
so you are excited.
No, I'm excited for her. Yeah, I just don't live in Virginia. Yeah, I'm very excited for her. And I'm excited for Virginia. It'll be either way. If she loses, it will be Virginia's first female governor. That'll be very exciting. and she is just I've been a huge fan of her work for years.
Yeah.
I have like 15 of her T-shirts.
That's a lot of T-shirts.
I get one every cycle.
I need to get one.
Get one. There's one with the ticket on their website. It says all their names.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I just ordered it.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I usually try to like get one.
I've been avoiding. Mikey Sherrill just launched a store.
Yeah, she has merch too, and it's nice. And
Yeah.
speaking of Mikey Sherrill, should we move on to
let's move to New Jersey.
New Jersey is, I think, probably the more interesting race here. First of all,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a blue state federally.
Yeah.
Harris
Didn't do well, but now let's think about Andy Kim. He won by over 10 points.
Right.
On the same ballot.
Yep.
And Harris won by 5.
6.
That's whatever. 5.5, I thought. But
I don't know. Whatever.
But it's
in that ballpark.
I want to just say this, and I'll let you wax.
Yeah.
I think that she,
Cheryl or Harris?
Cheryl. I think Cheryl's going to win by 10. That's my hot take.
I'm curious to see how this goes because, first of all, this is the state that gave us Chris Christie.
Well, he was also against like a comically corrupt person in 2009, I believe, and then he won re-election because once you're it's like Kentucky, like when your legislature blocks all of your worst instincts, you become really popular.
Sure.
So,
but still,
Yeah.
they gave us Chris Christie. There was a Republican governor. I forgot her name. It's 2 last names.
Oh,
Christine. Oh my God, I almost said Todd Whitman, but it's not. That's the
no,
witch.
it is.
I thought that was the witch from Delaware.
It's Christine.
There was a Republican governor 2-term in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
Early 2000s. So electing a Republican governor of New Jersey is not unheard of, even though it is a blue state at the federal level. It is home to Jersey City is the most diverse city in America.
Big fan.
I lived there for a couple
Many
of years. Really liked it there. People call Jersey the armpit of America, and it's not. It's a great place to live. I worked in New York City.
No, it's Christine Todd Whitman.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I was right. So it's not necessarily unheard of for New Jersey to elect a Republican governor. It's happened in recent history.
Yep.
2021 was a little bit of an alarm bell because Phil Murphy was like doing really, really, really well in the polling averages for his reelection. He won by 3.5 points. I think he was projected to win by like 10 to 15.
It's because the Democrats didn't turn out A, B.
But that's how we always lose.
Well, right, and then the South Jersey, I was gonna say Sidney Sweeney, the senator who is the leader. His last name's Sweeney. He lost his seat to a truck driver who raised $15. Like there was a huge red wave in New Jersey.
Yeah, and I was in New Jersey in Atlantic City earlier this year for a Kelly Clarkson concert. Whoop whoop! And I drove to visit our brother and sister-in-law through South Jersey. A lot of Trump signs. So I think MAGA and the Republicans are tapping into something in the state. I don't think it's enough to flip it outright, but it is causing a bit of a narrowing. Jack Ciattarelli was a strong candidate in 2021 who lost by 3.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
It was a strong showing for him. He really honed in on a clip of Phil Murphy talking about, well, if you don't want higher taxes, this isn't your state. It was, taken out of context, but it worked. It was in the middle of, rising inflation. He really honed in on that. Now, he is proposing a 10% sales tax on everything in New Jersey in place of income tax.
Yeah.
Florida's also doing this, where they're like, let's abandon all taxes. It's like, how are you going to pay for literally anything? That only matters when it's a Democrat, though.
Right.
He is focusing solely on culture wars and cultural issues. He said in a speech recently that we are not going to teach sodomy in 6th grade when
That's
asked
nice.
about LGBT issues. And Mikey Sherrill actually did an interview recently where she was asked, like, should parents have the ability to opt out of LGBT issues taught in schools? And she was like, no. Which I respected. It wasn't like a workaround. She's basically like, yeah, parents should have, a say in their kids' education, but no, this is not something that parents should have the ability to just turn off. So the state of the race right now in New Jersey is Mikey Sherrill's leading by high single digits. Recent Rutgers Eagleton poll had her at 9 points up. What is FDU? Whatever they are, had her leading by 8 points. The caveat here is that there's 15% undecided voters in a lot of these polls. the good news for her is that she's polling in the high 40s, low 50s. So like she's cracking roughly what she would need to win. I think she's going to win. She's running on affordability. She's running on any energy prices. She's running on transit. So it's the issues that it's a local enough focus that I think people care. There is a Trump referendum element of it, but
there always is.
Yes, of course. But she's focusing on the things she needs to focus on.
Right.
Whereas Chitterelli is ideologically extreme. He's not.
My favorite is, did you see that video? It was circulating a couple days ago where it's him in a diner and it's like,
yes,
it's
I sent that to you.
Oh yeah, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. And
he was like, did you vote?
No. It's the same thing, and he's in the same diner for some reason, and he's like, my opponent only wants to talk about Donald Trump. I'm not going to talk about Donald Trump. He goes, I'm talking about you in New Jersey. And then it cuts to his primary ad, and it was like, Donald Trump's pick for New Jersey governor is Jack Chitterelli because President Trump knows that da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he goes, I'm Jack Chitterelli, and I love that I'm endorsed by Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
Yep. But then I saw the diner video where he approaches a man, and he's like, hey, like, would love to ask for your vote. And the guy's like, I already voted. And Chitterelli's like, oh, cool, thanks. And he's like, but not for you. That's okay.
He's gonna lose. Third time's the charm.
Yeah, I mean, but I just
he's run for it 3 times, by the way.
I want to see him blown out. I want to see these fuckers lose. So some key indicators on election night. The suburbs of Bergen and Middlesex counties. Cheryl needs to hold a 12 to 15 point lead, generally speaking. The collar counties, Somerset and Morris, are competitive. They're good for Cheryl. Chitterelli needs to keep Morris close. The GOP base counties are Monmouth and Ocean, and he needs to really rack up the win there. 20 to 35 point wins to offset North Jersey.
He's not going to.
Doesn't feel like it's the likeliest scenario.
No, I can't imagine he would. No.
What is your take on this race? Because I see a lot of TikToks from typical lefties, but also like other people who are actually operating like not as trolls, who are saying, I don't see her anywhere in South Jersey. She's not campaigning. She's not whatever. The numbers look good for her. What do you think's going on? What do you think we're going to see happen in New Jersey?
I think she's going to win. I think she's going to be the governor in 2026. I think that she'll win probably between 5 and 10 points. So we are going to be seeing this is kind of a referendum because we'll see if New Jersey resets back to status quo. Basically, what she brings to the table that a lot of other people don't bring to the table is that she can juice up that suburban support in the collar counties and in North Jersey.
Yeah,
because that's where she represents. She has Josh Gottheimer on board, who also represents the suburban area outside of New York, Jersey City.
Yeah.
He was a primary opponent of hers. She's brought everyone back together. She's gotten Ross Baraka, the mayor of Newark. She's gotten Steve Fulop on board. So she's done everything right.
Yeah.
South Jersey, it's kind of like you have to cut your losses. Like, she's not going to win those areas.
She's not going to win those areas, but like, as we've been saying on this podcast, like, go everywhere.
Yeah, and the other thing is she's a member of Congress. And like, I've worked for a member of Congress who's run for office, and you've seen it even in some other places. It's hard for them because they still have to represent their district.
Right.
So she's back and forth between. It's very hard to get around when you're a member of Congress.
Yeah.
So
you think it's literally just like a logistics issue?
I think that she's going to the places she needs to go to, and she'll cut her losses where she needs to cut.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true if she's not down in South Jersey.
I don't know if it's true either because there's a lot of people who complain about a lot of things. What do you think we need to see in New Jersey for it to feel good for us and be like, okay.
I need to see a poll of her above 50%, and that's when I know we're solid.
No. I mean, if and when she wins, what number is going to make you feel
10
points?
Yeah, because
so if she wins by 8, what do you think?
Didn't Phil Murphy win by 17
the first time?
Yeah,
that sounds right, but I don't know.
It was like between 14 and 17, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So obviously the coalitions are changing, right? So I don't think she's going to win by 17, but if she can win by 10, I'm going to feel pretty good. If she wins above 8, I'll also feel good. If she overperforms Harris's total, I'm fine.
Sure.
But if she wins by 5.5, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I'd like to see, and this is the one that I, even last year when I saw how Harris did in the state, which, let's go back to 2016. Hillary Clinton won the state of Minnesota by like 1.4 points.
No, totally.
Like
things
ebb and flow.
Right, totally.
But like
totally. It's independents, it's Democrats. Democrats vote for Republicans. Republicans voting for Democrats. It happens.
I'm hoping that we can do well in
I want to
Jersey.
see the turnout in Newark. I want to see the turnout in Jersey City.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see, because North Jersey has a lot of people who are diverse backgrounds, and I'm not sure if they're going to vote for Democrats because of certain wars in the Middle East. So I'm interested to see what the turnout is.
Yeah.
In those areas.
I would agree.
She's a woman.
She's a woman. She has military experience. She's cool. I like her.
Yeah, she's a helicopter pilot, Naval Academy graduate. She's no bullshit. She's not a grifter, which is something
it's your thing. Yeah.
I hate grifter politicians. She's just very real. This is how it is. She's a helicopter pilot. She was a assistant U.S. attorney.
And another rising star, I think.
Yeah, she's tough on crime, everything. So she'll be good. I'm interested to see how she governs. I know that you do not like them. I don't really like them either because their voices bother me. But the Abundance guys, do you know who I'm talking about when I talk about that?
No.
What's his name? The guy who's like, he wrote the book. That he's very critical. He has the podcast, New York Times, Ezra Klein.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is, I read the book, but I can't.
Why we're
listen to
polarized?
No, it's called Abundance,
which
is so cringe. But he says that blue state governors and blue state mayors need to govern better, and and I agree with him on this. It's like you need to cut regulation, and he gives a ton of examples where it's like, we're going to build this affordable housing unit, but it's actually going to take us 10 years to do it because of all the zoning and the process and all all the permits you need. When she gets in, she needs to lean into that. And I know that there's new Democratic leaders who are leaning into that, but we need to lean into cutting some of these regulations and achieving these things really quick. The one thing that I'll say, and it's kind of eerie related, remember when that bridge in Philadelphia collapsed and Shapiro swooped in and cut all the regulations?
Was it Pittsburgh or Philly?
Philly.
Okay.
And they built the bridge back up in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Erie County, where we are, the Bayfront Connector, it's a federal infrastructure project. They just closed that highway for a year.
Yeah.
To build a highway.
Yeah.
Okay, like cut the regulations, guys.
I'm pro regulation where it's reasonable.
Totally,
but
right.
I see your point.
No, like there's still regulation. It's not like, okay, just build the highway, but like it's like the silly regulations, and there are silly regulations.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think she's gonna do good. She has a harder job of governing than Spanberger does, because she's gonna be walking in with a trifecta no matter what, and all the buck stops with her, right?
Yeah.
So she's going to be able to get some of the things she says she wants done if she gets them across the finish line. Spanberger is going to be walking into a trifecta, and she can work with the legislatures to get her agenda done as well. But it's a different dynamic.
Final question. Tell me why you feel so bullish on Cheryl. It's the one that makes me nervous.
So it's a Democrat. I didn't live in New Jersey, but it is a Democratic state, right? Northern New Jersey is very suburban. It's outside of New York City. It has New Jersey. It has Jersey City. It has Newark. If you look at the primary results, you have the more mainstream Democrats taking up about 60 to 80% of the primary vote. Who are all on the main line of things, right?
You're talking about Cheryl, Baraka, Fulop, Gottheimer.
Remove Baraka.
Oh yeah.
He's a great guy, just not in the mainstream, in my opinion. But you have Gottheimer, you have Sweeney, and you have Spiller, and you have Gottheimer. I already said that, and you have Fulop and Mikey Sherrill. That's over 60%.
That's about 70. Yeah.
That's 70% of the electorate who voted for her. Here's the deal: these races are make or break in the suburbs. In 2021, the Democrats lost ground in the suburbs, both cases, by the way, in Virginia and in New Jersey. She comes from the suburban background. She has the backing of all these normie Democrats, who most of them come from the suburbs. She's going to do well, I think. That's why I'm not worried. Obviously, it could be more competitive. Jack Ciattarelli's a known entity. He's run for governor 3 times. People know who he is. He's not as crazy as some of outwardly crazy as some Republicans
Saying
are.
we're not teaching sodomy in 6th grade is pretty.
No,
yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
He doesn't come off that way, is what I'm trying to say. I think she's going to do a pretty good job, though.
Yeah.
So she's good. She has that military backing, and she's a woman, a mom. I think she's going to be doing really good.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm excited for these races, and we'll keep you updated, of course, our listeners, I should say.
I know we'll have like a little debrief after they happen, but yeah.
Yeah, and we can talk about all of them, and yeah.
Great.
Sweet.
Thanks for tuning in.
Sweet.
I believe that we are looking to have a discussion about Ukraine
next week
on our next episode, so with an expert.
Yes.
So tune in.
We're very excited for that.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for coming by.
Goodbye.
Bye.